Morgan, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, Morgan, I don't know if anyone else had trouble getting to New York, but you had a little challenge.
Just a little bit, but we're here. We made it.
Yeah,
That's the important part.
Through Hartford, Connecticut, which is always the most convenient way to New York.
It was a great way to see a little bit of Connecticut.
Well, thank you for being here and representing TD Bank and a wonderful customer, wonderful sort of journey we've been on over a number of years together, and your willingness to share that with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Maybe just, I think everyone knows TD Bank, especially in this area, whether it's on the Garden or obviously a retail bank all over the place on the East Coast, but probably good to set it up on a little bit about TD Bank.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you that don't know us, we are a top 10 North American bank, headquartered out of Toronto, Canada. Although driving around New York City, you'd never know that because I think you see us on just about every street corner. Predominantly, the bank's focused on retail operations, but we do have centers globally, especially in our wholesale businesses.
Yeah, no. It's been a great, huge growth story and acquisitions, and you work in an industry that has a few regulations, I heard.
Yeah, just a couple.
I don't know how many pages of regulations you have to process, but in your role, you have a very interesting role at the sort of center of a lot of that stuff around Treasury and Risk and obviously compliance and finance. Maybe just sort of shape a little bit around your role and some of the key initiatives you've been working on.
Yeah, absolutely. So my team supports the finance, risk, and treasury functions of the bank. So if you think about any of the reporting that the bank has to do, whether that's issuing financial results and statements to the street, or sharing information with our regulators, because they do ask for quite a bit of it, or even just sharing results management reporting with our business leaders so that they can run our business. That's really what the heart of my team is doing. So for the past few years, we've been on a large transformation journey, working closely with Oracle. We've rolled out ERP, EPM, OFSA, which is a financial services data and reporting application. We've also made a huge amount of investment in all the underlying source system data to support all of these new capabilities that we're rolling out for our businesses.
Yeah. No, I think the way you've sort of set up your foundation around a very data-centric world, and the one key word that I think we all grapple with right now is just uncertainty and change and adapting. Maybe talk about how important that sort of data foundation is to how you operate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I go back to our regulators and think about industry trends right now, banking has always been a regulated industry. What we're seeing right now is that pace of change coming from the regulators is not just increasing, but really accelerating.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a movement from our regulators and reporting authorities, away from a static kind of one-time produced report and moving towards continuous near real-time data feeds. So really this idea that regulators want to see the whole picture, not just a curated report from point in time. And the only way that any bank is going to be successful operating in that environment is if you've made those foundational investments in your data strategy, in your cloud transformation journey. That's the only way that you're going to be able to sustain in that kind of world.
No, and I think that's relatable to lots of industries, and how do we, data, I think everyone's now, very well aware that data is a business asset.
Absolutely.
It's not a, underlying, plumbing or an IT asset and then obviously data is key for reporting and key to analytics, a key to sort of operating the bank effectively. And ultimately it's going to be the path to drive benefits from an AI perspective. But we'll get into that in a second. But I think when you think about the sort of core program you've been on, the data layer, the ERP in terms of the core ledgers, EPM, planning and consolidation, all the work there, what have been some of the key sort of value drivers for you?
So when we started this journey, I always talk about secure and stable operations kind of being the foundation that we have to achieve. If you don't have that in your cloud platform, in your data platform, in your capabilities, then none of the rest of it is really going to matter. So for us, that was key to building trust with our business partners right out of the gate. We started on Gen 1 Cloud for a little while, which was okay, but I'm very happy to say we are on Gen 2 Cloud, and it has been amazing. Yep. So big check mark for secure and stable operations there. As you roll out those foundational capabilities, though, what that really opens the door for is, standardizing your business processes. That's when you start to see some of the efficiency. But then ultimately where it gets exciting, where I get excited at least, is when we talk about, unlocking new business value. We all bank at different organizations. Hopefully most of you are TD customers, but none of us chose our bank because they had a great general ledger. Right? It's one of those things that you just expect to work, but you choose your bank because of, outstanding customer service, or maybe great mobile capabilities. So when I think about, functions like finance and risk and treasury, we have to do them well, we have to do them right. We also really have to do them efficiently, because every dollar of value that I can unlock and give back to my business partners, that helps them grow the business, that helps them deliver better customer experiences. That's really what we're in the business of, right?
Totally. I love that story and the benefits that you've seen. And this is a journey.
Yes.
So obviously you've been on this journey for several years, and you've had some significant milestones in terms of moving these new capabilities into operations. But what do you see as next? As we talk, there's a lot of foundational capability. You're unlocking some amount of initial efficiencies. Where do you see the next opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as we look forward, first of all, we're excited, now that we're in the cloud, that we're going to be able to continue to deliver change to our business, again, in the most efficient way possible. Really happy to be partnering with Oracle so that we can, use all of those best practices that you're building kind of globally, versus having to reinvent the wheel ourselves. Obviously, the buzzword right now is AI and Gen AI, and I think that goes part and parcel together. So, of course, we're excited about the AI agents that Oracle is going to be building, embedded in a lot of those cloud applications and capabilities, things that we're just able to take advantage of. Again, we don't have to go build all of this ourselves. It's kind of right there out of the box available.
No, obviously we're really excited about what's coming next, and you're going to hear a bunch about it over the course of the next day, and hear from Stephen a little bit around what we've delivered and what's going to be delivered in the near term. And I know you're somewhat limited in terms of all the details you can talk about in terms of AI, but I guess maybe just put it on the sort of how important do you think it is going forward for your strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think all of us are just starting to scratch the surface on how important this is going to be. I think if we were sitting around in a year's time, we would be having a very different conversation. Never mind, 5 or 10 years down the road, how much this is going to really transform, I think, everything about our lives, but certainly the bank's operation and strategy as well. We've been on an AI journey at TD for many years. We invested and acquired a company called Layer 6, headquartered out of Toronto as well. We've just announced that Layer 6 is opening a New York office, but traditional AI has been something that we've been investing in for many years, so really helped prepare us for, I think, the advancements that we're seeing with Gen AI now.
Great. Well, we look forward to continuing to partner on that front. And maybe I'll just close with one of the things Stephen said is Oracle's journey to become much more customer-centric, customer-centered. But what additional advice do you have for us on how we continue to improve in terms of how we serve you and the bank?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're certainly banking that Oracle is going to continue to be on, the leading edge of advancement for all of us in the industry. Certainly, keeping abreast with all the different regulatory changes and things that we're facing as banks. So the easier that you make it for us to adapt those changes, the more that we're going to keep coming back. Really seamless integrations across the platform. Like I mentioned, all of these corporate functions, and it's probably true not just for banks, but across many industries, are really commoditized services. So I think we all have a mission to run them really efficiently, and so love partnering with Oracle and helping us to do that.
Awesome. Morgan, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What's next? Yeah, thank you.